It is important that the American side be able to elicit a response from Russia, a genuine willingness by that state to focus on something other than.
So the talks in Ukraine, Russia are going along. We are talking. Talks are going okay.
Ukraine on December 22nd described the situation near the frontline city of Siversk in Donetsk Oblast as extremely difficult, amid reports of mounting Russian assaults. Ukraine's 7th Air Assault Corps reported that Russian troops were attempting to cross the Siverskyi Donets River, a move that could threaten key defensive positions in the sector. According to Ukrainian military updates, Russia appears to have renewed its offensive push on Siversk, trying to grind forward in northern Donetsk. The 7th Air Assault Corps released a video that purportedly shows Russian troops moving in the area, presented as evidence of an ongoing attempt to force the river line. The unit said Russian forces are aiming for full control of the nearby settlements of Serebrianka and Dronivka, which would improve Moscow's tactical position around Siversk. Siversk plays a key role in Ukraine's defense of northern Donetsk Oblast, helping Ukrainian forces shield the larger urban centers of Sloviansk and Kramatorsk to the southwest. By holding Siversk, Ukraine seeks to maintain a buffer that prevents Russian troops from advancing toward these major industrial and administrative hubs. Ukraine's 7th Air Assault Corps said, quote, "The situation in Serebriansk, northeast of Siversk, is extremely difficult. Units of the 81st Brigade are holding their positions, inflicting losses on the enemy in manpower and equipment. The Russians are also continuing their attempts to transport personnel across the Siverskyi Donets River from the Serebriansk forestry district. In the last 2 days alone, units of the 81st Marine Division have destroyed 2 boats along with manpower. Let us remind you that the enemy's key goal is to gain full control over the settlements of Serebrianka and Dronivka. These 2 villages will serve as bridgeheads for the accumulation of manpower and equipment, and in the event of their capture, further advancement and occupation of heights near the settlements of Zakytne and Platonivka." The video shows the combat work of units of the 81st Infantry Division of the 7th Corps of the Ukrainian Airborne Forces in the area of Serebrianka and the Dronivka-Zakytne section, including footage of the destruction of the enemy during an attempt to land on an armored combat vehicle. Unquote. Meanwhile, President Volodymyr Zelensky and US President Donald Trump have offered strikingly different tones when speaking about the state of ongoing peace talks. Trump has said the negotiations are going along well and suggested that the parties are getting close to something, signaling optimism from a US side. Zelensky, by contrast, has voiced very limited faith in the talks so far, warning that Russia has not shown real willingness to compromise on core issues like territory and security guarantees. Over the past several days, US officials hosted Russian and Ukrainian delegations in Miami, Florida, for 3 days of discussions aimed at testing possible terms for a ceasefire and broader settlement. At the same time, US Vice President J.D. Vance reiterated that the Trump administration does not intend to ship money off to Ukraine, underscoring Washington's shift away from large, open-ended financial aid packages.
On Ukraine, can you give an update on the talks that took place this past weekend, and could a trilateral discussion of sort be the next step for Ukrainian, U.S. and Russian delegations?
So the talks in Ukraine, Russia are going along. They lost, as you know, 27,000 soldiers last month, mostly soldiers, some people in Kiev, etc., but mostly soldiers. And the talks are going along. And I say that, there's tremendous hatred between these 2 leaders. Between President Putin, President Zelensky, tremendous hatred, and I hope we can get it done. We are talking. Talks are going okay, but I've solved 8 wars, and Thailand is starting to ship up. They started with Cambodia, they started up again, but I think, Marco, we have that in pretty good shape to have that stopped. So we stopped 8 wars, and I thought this would be in the middle of the pack, but maybe easy, but in the middle of the pack. But there's a lot of hatred between those 2 people.
Шановні українці, українки, сьогодні вже...
Fellow Ukrainians, today, our negotiating team is returning after meetings in the United States with envoys of President Trump, and tomorrow morning, I expect a full briefing on the documents that have been prepared. A great deal of work has been done, first and foremost, on documents concerning security guarantees, as well as the 20 points of the main document, the basic framework discussed by the Ukrainian and American delegations. Rustem Umerov and Andriy Natov will present their reports tomorrow. It is important that the American side be able to elicit a response from Russia, a genuine willingness by that state to focus on something other than aggression. Of course, after so many years, first of hybrid warfare and now of full-scale war, it is hard to believe that Putin is capable of living without killings and invasions. However, a reduction in the price of Russian oil, strong global sanctions, and the continuation of all other forms of pressure are precisely what will persuade even such a stubborn person. Putin wages war as long as he has the money to buy the loyalty of his inner circle and the Russian population, while at the same time paying for killings on the front line. And over the past year, much has already been done to reduce the amount of money available to the Russian war machine. I am grateful to all our warriors for the deep strikes. There are results almost every single day now. This is especially evident in deep strikes targeting Russia's oil exports. It is good that the European Union, America, and other partners are putting pressure on Russia's gas and oil exports. Tankers that Russia uses to finance the war and bankroll Putin's cronies are increasingly encountering problems in key maritime areas. There will also be new global sanctions against tankers and the entire infrastructure behind such exports. Companies, insurers, captains, and crews, of course. We are also preparing new sanctions packages against various individuals, not only Russian, who are working for the aggressor's defense industry. And our sanctions proposals are always taken into account by our partners. This is one of the priorities of our foreign policy, to ensure that Ukrainian sanctions are synchronized with those of our partners. Today, I reiterated these very tasks to Ukrainian diplomats, congratulated them on their professional day and thanked everyone who is genuinely working for our foreign policy, for ensuring that Ukraine is effective in international affairs, because this is now one of the foundations of our defense. Ukraine's strength lies in unity with the world, and we have now reached the highest level of this unity. Never before in its history has Ukraine had as much support from partners as it does today. Achieving this level was not easy, just as it is not easy to keep the world's attention on Ukraine month after month, despite everything. We did not allow Ukraine to be forgotten. We did not allow other topics and challenges to overshadow attention to Ukraine. The societies of our partners support us, our state, our defense, and this matters. It gives us the strength to defend ourselves. Today, I also had the honor of thanking our Ukrainian energy workers, all our heroes who overcome Russia literally every day through their work. They restore power generation. They restore the power supply. They restore normal life for Ukrainians. And Ukraine truly can be proud of the professionalism of our energy workers. Thank you. And one more thing. Today, we spoke with the chairman of the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine, Ruslan Stefanchuk. Among other things, I asked Ruslan, together with the members of parliament, as well as government officials and representatives of civil society, to prepare proposals for defining new and logical approaches to holidays and special dates in our calendar. There are unfortunate calendar coincidences, and the war has introduced many such changes. When days of tragedy fall on professional holidays, or when, dating back to Soviet times and the early years of independence, several entirely different professional holidays fall on the same day. All of this needs to be put in order. We thank everyone who will help with this. Just as the celebration of true Christmas was easily accepted on December 25th, other dates should likewise be fair and appropriate. Thank you to everyone who works for our state and our people. Glory to Ukraine.